Hello guys, it's Wale Ladipo. I want to talk to you about embracing your grieving self as a powerful platform for transformation, for healing. Grief is an emotion that all of us, whether you like it or not, we have to face at some point in our life. Life is a series of traumatic experiences, ups and downs, joys and sorrows, regardless of how wonderful your past has been. The future guarantees some kind of grief. It is not a false prophecy, it's just a reality of life. Before you know it, something will happen to you that you have to deal with the grief reaction. But your ability to grieve well, to grieve forward, will determine the longevity of your wellness. Now, many people deny their grief reactions. They move on very quickly. They gather themselves up. They dust themselves down, and off they go again, dancing to the tunes of the society that is somehow impatient of our emotions of grief. They want us to move on very quickly, and they also pat us in the back set to tell us, oh, you're so strong, you're so strong. It's good to be strong, but not at the mercy of the proper processing of your repressed emotions. Whether it's a loss of a loved one, a loss of a relationship like divorce or separation, or a loss of a limb, a loss of a functionality because of accident or because of other issues like illnesses, diagnosis, loss of job. You have to grieve if it's a good job that you love that has been yanked away from you. Grieve. Spend some time away to come to terms with what you're going through. What happens is that your nervous system wants to speed you up because you are under the gun of the autonomic nervous system, your fight-flight nervous system. So you want to speed up, want to move into the next activity to see whether you could use that next activity to numb the feelings of your grief. Don't do that. Don't fall into that trap. It's time to back off. It's time to evaluate. It's time to allow your feelings and experiences to make sense to you, to feel the feeling as opposed to numbing off your feeling. Take some time out until you'll start to feel better. And what we do know about grief is that it has a cycle and it's not linear. It's very complex. Now, one of the authorities in the grief research is known as Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, that came up with the 5 stages of grief. 5 stages of grief. Number 1 is denial. Most people will get into that state of denial. They can't believe it. So they rather not talk about it, or they pretend as if everything's fine, or they just repress everything. The second step is anger. They start to get into the anger experience. The third step is bargaining. That is when they start to bargain back and forth to see whether reality could present a different scenario. Then the next one is depression. Now, when they get to the depressive state, that is when they start to realize the enormity of the loss they've gone through. They start to feel the feeling for the first time. And because they've been feeling the feeling, it becomes too much for them. So they plummet into a state of depression and anxiety. Now, the third stage is known as the acceptance stage. That is when we're beginning to understand the gravity of our loss. But it's not linear. Sometimes you think you are in acceptance, then again, bam, you're in depression, you're in denial, you are in bargaining, you move back and forth. You swerve almost down as if you're dancing the rhythm of life, ups and downs, joys and sorrows. 2 steps backward, 1 step forward. But what we want to do is to remain human. Humans feel the emotions. If you don't feel the emotions, if you numb off, you want to be more than human or less than human. Stay at the level of humanity. which is a level of emotions. We're emotional being. The brain is an emotional organ. Your entire nervous system is emotional. Feel that emotion. But tell yourself, I'm coming out stronger. Regardless of the time it takes me. Do not let people put pressure on you. Take your time. Grief is a natural emotion. And your brain requires time to come to terms with what has happened to you. If you've lost loved ones, if you've lost some things, some people important to you, they still live in your neurological tissues. Never forget it. So take your time until recovery becomes imminent. I'm Oladipo. Share this and like it. Share it to somebody, with somebody that might benefit from it. And I'll speak to you soon. All the very best. All the very best. Bye-bye.